We're going to call the Tuesday, April 12th, Transportation Committee meeting to order. Roll call, see Mr. Aaron is here. Looks like Ms. Terry Casso is absent today.
Oh, she on the way.
Oh, she's here, so everybody present. We'll start off with the invocation followed by the pledge. Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight and make decisions to keep our roads safe, and give us the wisdom to make the right decisions to move this parish forward. We ask this in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment section. Anyone wanting to speak on an agenda item, please sign in with Miss Liz, and you have your 3 minutes to speak on it. Chairman's report. I asked the secretary just to give y'all a list of the state contract of the state highways that we cut the grass with, so y'all will know which highway in y'all district. Not all state highways are cut, correct, Joey? It's just a certain amount of roads that we cut.
Correct, the one that's on the list in
So
front
you
of
have a
the ones
list,
that
that
we
is
cut.
the contract that we have with the state. So, you know, if a constituent calls you and you're not sure if that road was cut by the state or the parish, you would know. So that's just some knowledge I figured we needed to have. So that's in your package just for information.
One thing too is we don't spray these. Our parish roads, we cut and spray.
Right.
With the state roads, we cut them, but the state agrees to
Right.
do the spraying on it also.
Yeah, that's what kind of offsets some of the overcosts,
Yep.
letting them do the spraying
That's right.
during the contract. Aaron, got a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, I apologize. As far as trash pickup on the roads, is that done before it's cut? Do we have a
Yes.
process for that?
We do.
Okay.
We pick it up beforehand, and we, it's part of this agreement that we report that to the state, how much trash we pick up and, you know, when we pick up and all. But yeah, we generally pick it up before we do the cutting.
Thank you.
Joe J.
Well, that was a shock to me, what you just said, Joey. We pick up garbage along the road before we cut?
Well, we hope to. I'm not saying we do a great job at it, but we attempt to.
Okay, well, I know we're gonna have to notify people on the west side that that's what everybody else does,
Okay.
okay?
And that's done with the police department, correct, with the prisoners?
Some of it's done with that. We have some people that we do ourselves.
Hands-on, okay.
Yes.
In-house.
Oh, yeah. We definitely got to have a meeting on that then, Joey,
Okay.
all right?
All right.
And we're gonna have sidebar on that one. Thank you, though.
I'd like to be
Appreciate
a part of that meeting also. Don't do it on the West Bank, on the East Bank either.
All right. Like I said, I just put it in there for discussion, so, you know, y'all can look it over, and if we got any questions, we can get back with administration on that. We'll move on to number 5, the Road Department Monthly Report for March 2016. Mr. Joey, 2-row.
There was a total of 32.28 tons of recyclable materials that was collected in that recycle bin that's at the DPW site. There were 10 pickups in the month of March. Year to date, we've picked up 85.97 tons. The DPW work orders, there were 708 work orders done in March. There were 1,240 feet of culverts that were either blown out or hand cleaned. 3,450 feet of roadside ditches were cleaned. The amount of roadside ditches that were cut, this is having to do with mowing, is 129.76 miles. 78.3 were parish roads, and 51.9 were state roads. 37.47 miles of roadside ditches were sprayed, and of course, that's all parish. On lot violations, there were a total of 6. One was located on private property, one was turned over to the contractor. One issue was cut by a property owner. One issue was turned over to the building department, and 2 letters were sent to property owners. There were reports of litter violations, 3 located on private property, 1 turned over to the constable, and 1 is being monitored and a letter being sent out. The last item there is just the total miles in the parish is 509 miles, 480 on the east bank and 29 on the west bank. And that's it.
Joe, I just have one question. I think we talked about it at the last meeting. The recycle bin at DPW. I think we was having issues where it wasn't really being recycled. It was used as more of a garbage container instead of a recycle bin. Is
Correct.
that corrected some, or?
Well, we've got a lot of things in line to make it better.
Okay.
We should be picking up a metal crusher, a baler, that's essentially being donated to us, and we hope to have it in place that will be alongside of that open bin. We will also fix the fence there so that we can close it during after hours, and we hope to have it manned as an inspector during the times that it's opened. We will also have, in fact, we have that now, a camera on site to where if we do see people dumping garbage in front or, doing something they're not supposed to do, we will have them on camera. So the whole picture will be that hopefully we'll have, we do have plans to put better signs out there to hopefully make it clear to people when it's going to be open, when it's going to be closed. Whenever it's closed, if somebody does something they're not supposed to, we'll have them on camera.
Okay, appreciate it.
Sure.
Mr. OJ?
Yeah. Your lot violation, and you say private lot, there was a lot violation in a subdivision or just a private lot in general in the parish?
I think that it could have been either one. I know we did have some lot violations that were in subdivisions. In fact, I want to say the majority of them were in subdivisions.
I think
Right.
that's the
Yes.
only ordinance. that we have.
No, when you,
Yeah.
you're correct, when it's in a subdivision, yeah, but when you say private, I wanted to make sure, because I got a bunch of them on my side, if y'all doing that.
Correct.
I'd be glad.
No, and I,
It is subdivision only, because that's the only thing we have ordinance that we enforce.
that's correct. They have an ordinance that I'm learning about too, where the grass can only get so high
Right.
in a subdivision. When you're not in a subdivision,
We don't have that.
we don't worry about that.
All right. Thank you, Joey. That's
Sure.
what I need to make sure. All right.
Ms. Terry, you got any?
I'm good
You
on
good?
that, thank you.
Yep. And Mr. Law?
Good,
Good. Appreciate it, Joe, on that. We'll move on to number 6, the road project status report. Ms. Taysom Rabelais.
Okay, we relayed, on the 2013 road maintenance package, we relayed Mulberry and Dogwood late last week, so that road package is officially complete. We're just awaiting the final 2 invoices to be submitted so that we can process a substantial completion on that one. The 2015 road maintenance package, we're moving along pretty well on that one. Right now, RJ Daigle is working on laying culverts on Jeanette as well as Bro. We're also performing soil cement operations on Bro and laying asphalt on Casey Bavin and Evans. Well, I say as of right now, we're just waiting for the bad weather to pass for us to or to continue. The upcoming work after we finish with those that I just listed we'll be laying new driveway culverts on Galaxy. We'll also be doing soil cement and asphalt operations on Ash, Bertrand, Jesse Cannon, and New River Road. The parish-wide horizontal curve sign upgrades, not a whole lot has changed with that. We're still waiting to purchase a gas-powered post driver. St. Landry Edenborn connector, I did meet with our legal department last week. We have one property that has multiple errors on it that they're looking to resolve or come to a resolution with. However, an expropriation for that property might be necessary before we can proceed. So we're hoping to be able to negotiate a price. However, if we don't, I think that our legal department has initiated the expropriation process just in case. The airline highway street name signing, all but 5 intersections have been installed. Church Point and Roddy roundabout, as well as Parker 929 roundabout. Those two are about the same spot as they were the last time we met. The Roddy roundabout, Church Point roundabout. There's one more property owner. I think we're waiting for approval for us to move forward. And as far as the Parker 929 roundabout, we're still waiting funds from DOTD so that we can proceed with the Shell pipeline encasement. So, Ashland to St. Landry, we're still working on the design on that one. We're still waiting to hear back from BASF regarding the corridor of land that we need in order to proceed. And the 2016 road maintenance package, we're just steady plugging away on that design to hopefully get that out to bid as soon as we can. Listed below that are all the state projects. The Highway 42 sewer improvements under contract with Horton Smith. Right now, Horton Smith is working to install manhole boxes, cutting trenches, and laying new sewer pipe on the east end of 42. They're preparing to jack and bore casing under 42 at Valley Court for the continuation of sewer line. On the west end of 42, Grady Crawford, has begun. They finished their directional bore of the sewer main from Ronald Road to the intersection of 42 and Highway 73. They're also setting up right now to bore along Highway 73 to tie into Oak Grove Primary. I-10 pavement marking replacement. The contractor has completed both outside edge lines of the interstate throughout the entire job. They are working to grind up the center line so that they can move to that portion next. And I'm thinking they'll probably start that fairly quickly. LA 44 and 934 intersection improvements. The striping realignment is complete. The contractor has begun to dig out subgrade for widening areas, and then they will lay out construction for the drainage. The utility conflict in that area has been resolved. Let's see. LA 22, not a whole lot has changed with that. They're still working on putting out temporary traffic control devices. The 939 and 940. The contractor has completed premixing and cutting soil cement on both LA 940 and 939. He's also saw cut all the drives in the road on both those routes, 939 and 940. The contract will next be installing chip seal. Let's see, LA 70 mill and overlay. This one has begun the preliminary design efforts by DOTD. One big thing that's changed with this is we incorporated a turn lane design at the Gator Environmental Landfill site, so that we don't have one project starting about a month earlier than the other. Now they'll all be in one, so that'll be easier for everybody in the long run. LA 22, this one's about where it was last time. We're waiting to find out from DOT if we can use the as-built from the previous job so that we don't have to wait on geotech design from a consultant. This will save everybody money and time, so we're just waiting to hear from that. If we're able to do so, we'll move forward with that and hopefully be done with final design, early next year, I'm hoping. 431 Gold Place. I think the last time we met, I did say that we should be going into construction by the end of this year. However, since last meeting, I did find out that we have some right-of-way delays. So instead of late this year, we'll be early next year before it'll go out to bid. So we're not talking about a whole lot of a delay, but we are talking about a delay nonetheless. So I was disappointed to hear about that. I know everybody else was. It probably is
Yeah,
too.
what is the right-of-way issue? I thought we had clearance on all four corners.
Well, from talking to the project manager at DOTD, the cost estimate ended up coming in high. So, due to the amount of federal dollars that we have to I guess, allocate, we have to wait until after this federal fiscal year in order to put those dollars towards the right of way, and they can't start doing that until after that budget has been adjusted. And from what I understand, it just takes more time than we have.
We definitely need to stay on that one.
I will.
Definitely a bad situation there.
I will. And I just took that one off the project starting in 2016. I did add a striping project. I was finally able to locate a file on our network listing roads that I'm guessing that you guys had talked about previously. We met, or we discussed how we were going to handle this. What we're going to do is we have a striping item in the 2015 road project that we're going to use to stripe the ones that meet our guidelines in the R.J. Daigle's contract. Then what we'll do after that is set up a separate contract to stripe roads that we're not looking at rebuilding anytime soon. So those that we'll have in this year's or the next road package, we'll just go ahead and stripe those as we come across them. But all others that need to be restriped, we'll go ahead and set up a contract to stripe those separately.
What is the guidelines? Because I think I turned in a work order, Joey, for you to look at on Cannon Road. We have the outer edge stripe, but not center stripes, and I had a constituent looking to, depending on the width, it makes a difference whether or not you can put a center line.
Correct. You also go by, if there's accidents on a particular road, you kind of go by, if there's frequent, say, run off the road accidents, you'll tend to want to put an edge line, which was the criteria for Cannon Road. Okay. Because that was the problem there.
It didn't meet the center line, though.
No.
Okay.
No, it was just.
So there won't be a center line put on it.
Correct.
A road, the guidelines we have right now, a road has to be at least 20 feet wide in order to.
Yeah, that's about 18, 19, yeah. Okay. Ms. Terry, any questions overall?
I do have one. There was an assessment done of all parish roads a couple of years ago, and I have not been able to put my hands on that list. So it's not urgent, but at some point in the relatively near future, could I get my hands on a copy of that?
What is that?
It was an assessment of all parish roads and a plan for when they would be part of the road maintenance.
Prioritized list.
Are you talking about
list.
like the pavement view
Yes.
assessment? Oh, yeah. We have what was done 3.5 years ago. Joey's been working with our MPO to possibly utilize their scanning system so that we don't have to spend another $350,000 of our money to do another one. But I can get that to you tomorrow. The one that from the scan we did 3.5 years ago.
That would be wonderful. And
Yeah.
does that, there's also a list of the projected dates for overlay of all of those roads, what package they would be considered in. If my memory's serving me right, I just can't put my hands on it. Can I get a copy of that as well?
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, can you also put my name on that list too?
Sure.
Because that was my question. I'm looking for it too.
Mr. Dempsey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. thank you for finding that striping list.
Oh, no problem.
We're really behind on that, so if we need to start somewhere, Norwood Road would be a good spot.
Dempsey's always got a good spot.
I'm in a bad bind there, and that was one of the, right in the curve, that was one of the heavy, runoff in that area there, so I really need some striping on that. Yeah, well, I'm willing to go out there now. The other thing on this 2013 road project with Sullivan, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not satisfied with the shoulder work, and Liz, correct me, how many complaints have we had on this job?
I have several pages.
It's several pages. Look, we've been over backwards helping and working with these companies, but what exactly is owed left on this last payment?
I'd have to go back and look. I want to say maybe 80,000. We have a retainer though, 5% retainer that we're still holding.
How many complaints you have left that
Oh,
you need to
gosh.
fix?
Well, to my knowledge,
Punch list.
Huh?
Yeah, as far as the punch list, we're real close to getting all of that knocked out. If y'all have anything in particular that, that you think is still hadn't been addressed, please let us know, because we,
To be honest with you, look, I turned in one last week on Henderson. There's more the dirt in the road than is on the shoulder of the road. I mean, this is not acceptable.
gotcha.
I don't know where, and I know there's some roads out there that's still cracked. I haven't heard anything on that.
what's that?
Like pavement
Some-
with cracks in it?
Correct. And these are
Okay.
brand-new roads.
Yeah, we talked about that with Rod.
Okay.
Church Point.
Yeah, now, Church Point, we did address that, I think as good as we can do under this contract. If you're just referring to Church Point, I don't know of any other,
No,
If-
there's some on that list that was turned in with cracks on it, so.
okay.
So I want to make sure that this is taken care of before we write off on this.
Will do.
Mr. Aaron, you finished that?
I'm sorry,
Got
Dempsey.
something else?
That
Go ahead, go ahead.
should take care of it. Go ahead.
You good?
Come on, Dempsey, you got some
You
more
got
in you.
something else, you know it.
Come
Well,
on.
the other thing I had, look, we went out after the flood. Are we gonna get any money for the, along the Amen River, I think it was K Drive? There was a few other roads that were really tore up. Are we gonna be eligible for funding in that flood event?
The preliminary list that I turned in to Rick Weber, as far as is my understanding that we will get funding for that. K was one of those. I think when we saw you that day, we were I think we picked up all the ones that you had concerns with. Ended up picking up pretty much any road that had a closure on it. I ended up picking up and adding that to our preliminary list, which, like I said, to my knowledge, we should be receiving funding for them. I haven't received any additional word from him regarding that, but as soon as I know something more, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Mr. Aaron?
Making sure.
Good, man, go ahead.
Two questions. Regarding the roundabout at 929 and Parker, we're still in the same position we were. What can we do? Is there anything that we can do to move forward to get the 1.2 million from the state or from other funds?
I know initially it was funded better, and they had to use, because of the sewer overruns on LA 42, they had to take funding away from that to get LA 42 completed, so,
Is there any chance of getting some of that back when they relet the actual road project? That's going to be in June, I believe, June 8th.
I think there's several avenues that are being explored. The road transfer program is another one that could possibly fill in those blanks. There are, possibly even some of the future road maintenance package is something to consider. But I mean, there's also some that maybe the state could could fill in also. We may have to wait till the next fiscal year to see if, the safety funding would possibly, the DOTD safety funding source would come through.
Thank you. Real quick, next question. With regard to Highway 42, do we foresee any delays on that, and do we have any oversight capabilities on that? I mean, I know it's a state project, but I get
Correct.
calls all the time, hey, what can the parish do? And
We're inspecting, both ends of the action that's going on now, and that's to put sewer at both ends. So we have one operation on the east end to supply sewer just to the east of LA 44. That intersection, going that direction, it stops right about where the Sonic is at. That is being done by a force account with the original contractor that did the clearing and grubbing on LA 42, which is Wharton Smith. On the west end is a totally separate contract that the parish has themselves, that Grady Crawford is doing the work to tie in the entire sewer system to the treatment plant at Oak Grove Primary. And that's going on right now, and it's going well.
okay, good.
So both of those things should finish to where we're not delaying the letting date of the construction project.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Dawson, got something to add to that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just real quickly, dealing with the roundabout at Parker and 929, I agree with Joey and what he's saying. There could possibly be some avenues we can take by trying to get more safety dollars, by just kind of speaking with them to see if they could recommit some dollars that were committed to that had to be used for something else. But the second thing I want to bring this committee attention to is that we are looking at going after several grants. Now, I know the Tiger Grant is not something that we look at a lot of times because we applied for it and we weren't very successful. But the FAST Act has put additional dollars into transportation infrastructure. And they divided it into two segments. One is the money that's allocated directly to the state, for infrastructure improvements. But the second is through a grant. And you can get major projects for that grant. The timing for the first application would be sometime the end of this month, which we are not ready for, but we're already putting in place the strategies to be ready for some project submissions for next April when they're ready. So we can kind of look at major projects because they're talking about funding some pretty large size projects with these dollars. So the goal is that how we put ourselves in position with qualified projects to make sure that our submission would be considered at a high level. So we are looking at that avenue as well.
I'd like to see Henry Road considered next April.
Okay.
That's a dangerous area.
Sure.
We've already had a bus go in there years ago. Cars have gone in there. I drive it every day, and it's scary.
And it would be great if this committee, if you have some ideas of what you would like to see included in a grant of that sort, then we would like to get your recommendations. But I think that what we have to do is that if it's safety issues that we're submitting for, and these are issues that need to be taken care of for safety, traffic improvement, some things that we can kind of quantify around an idea when we make the submission. But we'll be getting more information to you about the qualification of what's necessary. I want to let you know we are working toward that.
Thank you, Ken. Mr. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ken, are we going to be pursuing a real hard look at road transfer? I heard Joey mention it earlier. I know that is something that I've spoken several times with representatives from the state about and have a keen interest in. So while I know we would need to explore it and we would all need to learn a lot more about it, I think it's the answer. It may present an answer to some of these shortfalls in funding that we have and might make a huge difference. And I just want to comment to Aaron's statement about Henry Road. While I'm sure there's some safety issues in District 8, I would want to support that improvement as well. There was a fatality there a couple of years ago, multiple fatality at Henry and 930, and we have a very large school there, elementary school with children and buses in that area in a big way. So I would share Aaron's concern about that particular spot.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Just to answer your question, the dealing with the road transfer program, the answer is yes. There are dollars that are available to us through the road transfer program. We need to just get a direction. If this is something this committee would like for us to consider, we will move forward with that. And if we need to have someone from DOTD to come in and give a presentation to answer any specifics about it, I think we had Dr. Calavota here one time that actually talked about it a bit. We can possibly get someone at the level to speak to that, because you're right, it is a source of money, you know, that you could apply to any road that you would like. And I think if my understanding of the program is correct, that you can choose which road that you would like transfer into your system after DOT brings it up to a level that you know, what we consider level of service, or maybe, well, high quality road. So we can, if this committee would like so, we can work on getting someone in here, Joey, to explain it in details, and if that's your wishes, we'll move forward with it.
Yeah, we had a public hearing on that issue
Yeah.
with them already.
Yeah. So
I'd like to see him come back if we could,
Bring them
him
to
or,
maybe bring them to one of the committee meetings so they can give us an update on it, yeah.
I can bring
Know
this
where it's
committee.
at.
'Cause
Yeah,
that-
bring this committee.
that
Yeah.
also gives us, Mr. Chairman, if you'll allow me a moment more, that also gives us credit for use on other roads.
Yes.
That are, you know, that look at 20 years out of maintenance for that road that we are taking in. So
Absolutely.
I just think it's an excellent program. I know that there are folks who have a problem with it. I mean, I understand that taking more roads into our parish system is complicated and does affect us in the future. But at the same time, 20 years of maintenance credit is hard to turn your nose up at.
Sure.
And so I would certainly like to see us pursue it as aggressively as we possibly can and make a decision about it, maybe for once and for all. But I would advise that I've spent a lot of time talking about this to Chris Ewing and to Dr. Calavota, and both of them have stressed to me that the urgency of this matter, that the day will come when the state will say, these roads are yours, and they will not allow you any maintenance. They will not have to bring them up to standard, and they will not have to give you any credit for 20 years of maintenance. So before that happens to us, maybe 10 years down the road, maybe 20 years down the road, but when it happens, we will have missed an opportunity a decade or so before to take those roads and get some credit for them. We've been talking about that, Todd and myself, and all of us, about getting them down. So I appreciate moving forward with that as soon as possible.
We'll see if we could get them in for next meeting.
Okay, that'd be fine.
And thank you, Patera, for that. And also, I want to let everyone know that Joy, we worked together on Joseph Area Road, and it was the only road that we have successfully had a transfer on. So, and that was one thing we were talking about, you know, with Joey Turo coming over from the state. I mean, this is some stuff that's his expertise, but also we will acquire right-of-way with this. So it's a twofold. I mean, it's going to work out both ways. So hope for the best, and hope we can get him in here pretty soon.
Good.
Thank you. And we like Joe, having Joey.
Yeah,
He
we
was
like
on the
Joey.
other side of the table for a while, but now he's on our side, so it's working out well.
We got him in the hot seat.
That's right.
And he puts on a great fair, an incredible fair.
All right. We'll move on to number 7, change orders number 1, 2, and 3 for the 2015 road maintenance project for contract R.J. Daigle and Sons. Ms.
So moved,
Tacey?
Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Got a motion by Mr. Dempsey, second by Mrs. Terry. Any discussion? Any opposition? So moved. No opposition with the staff on these change orders? Okay. We'll move on to number 8, roads for discussion of acceptance into the parish maintenance system as followed. Mr. Ricky DeOrman.
Yeah, I'm here to present some roads at the shadows of Ascension, 4th, 6th, and 7th filings to be accepted into the parish maintenance system. You want to go through them one at a time like we normally do, Todd?
Yes.
Okay, the first one is Pascal Drive, 536 feet.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion by Ms. Casso, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Discussion, no opposition, so moved.
Winborn Boulevard, 660 feet.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion by Ms. Casso,
Second.
second by Mr. Joseph. Any discussion?
Brief discussion,
Sure, go
quick question. Lots of surface cracks will be, need to be crack sealed. Do we have a timetable on that?
They need to address it before it goes to the council, full council. And I notified them today that they have to do it.
Okay, great.
Any more discussion? So move on that.
Champaign Avenue, 692 feet.
So move.
Got a motion by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion on that one? So move.
Shadows of Ascension Avenue, 140 feet.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Joseph. Second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? So move.
Shadows of Ascension Boulevard, 960 feet.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Casso. Second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Any opposition? So move.
Annabelle Drive, 1,108 feet.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Dempsey, second by Mrs. Terry. No opposition, so move.
Mignon Avenue, 1,264 feet.
Motion to
Motion
approve.
by Mrs. Terry. Second by.
Second.
Mr. Aaron, follow.
I'll take that.
No opposition, so move.
That's a total of 1.02 miles you're taking in tonight.
Thank you, Rick.
All right.
We'll move on to number 9.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Dempsey,
Second.
second by Mrs. Terry. No opposition, meeting is adjourned.